What's up guys, welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And you can see that I'm a little bit tanned right now and not completely perfect because there's probably some drool from sleeping tonight, because I actually applied the first layer of tan last night because today I have a guest performance, a guest posing session at the Ironman, Maiden NPC contest here in the Netherlands. So what I've been doing for the past few weeks is lowering my carbs, doing some more cardio, manipulating water and sodium, not too much, just drinking a lot of water, consuming a lot of sodium, because yesterday I dropped my water about 20 hours from stepping on stage, and I'll be stepping on stage on 5:30 p.m. So it's kind of late, so can't really compare it to a regular show because usually the pre-judging is in the morning. But I want to represent classic bodybuilding in the Netherlands for the NPC at a very high standard, because that's what I stand for, classic bodybuilding. So I don't just want to show an off-season shape. I want to show a very good classical shape there with proper lines, definition, and clean look. But we already carved up yesterday, the day before. On Friday with around 400 grams, on Saturday 300 grams, so not too high, and altering the vegetables to low FODMAP like cucumber, spinach, pumpkin, stuff like that. And I just actually had a big bowl of baby rice, actually this one right here. You can see there's a little grains in there as well, but mostly rice as well. And I put 140 grams in there with some peanut butter and cinnamon, minimum amount of water. That's the benefit of using those baby rice things. They digest really easily. They're very easy to eat. You don't need to add a lot of water because babies need to have a lot of energy in a small volume. So they actually finish the meal. So as a bodybuilder, you can definitely use that. A lot of people use ground rice, baby rice, stuff like that to load up for a contest or pre-workout, post-workout. But I like to use it as the first meal of the day. This meal contained around 100 grams of carbs in total, so 100 grams of clean carbs. Added the nut butter, the peanut butter, to make sure that the insulin spike doesn't go up and then drop down. I want it to be a little bit more stable. So that's what I did. And I'm also going to show you the rest of the meals that I'll be eating, and of course the guest performance itself. So let's get on with the day. Okay, so now I'm going to prepare the meals for today, and I actually put in 200 grams of rice in this rice cooker with this rice, Uncle Ben's rice, just long grain rice, which is to me one of the best and finest rices you can get. Anything from Uncle Ben's really. Tilda has some good rices as well, but this is just very loose rice. If you put basmati rice in here, just as is, it's going to be a big lump, or jasmine rice. For one meal, that's okay, but for multiple meals, I like to have loose grained rice. So I like to have at least 2 more meals today that has 100 grams of rice. So I'm not going to extremely load. I want my stomach to be flat. And one of the things I do to make the stomach flat is I actually added 40 grams of ginger to this. Fresh grated ginger. I also will be adding not a lot of protein to the meals, just the half amount of protein that I normally add. Normally I like to do 300 grams of white fish. Now I'll be doing 150 grams. But the ginger actually promotes the loss of bloating, so you won't really bloat on ginger. Sometimes the protein content of a meal or other contents of a meal or low or high FODMAP foods will cause you to bloat, but this ginger will actually catch the gases and will actually neglect them, turn them into nothing. Basically, the bloating will be less, and ginger is very healthy overall as well. A lot of antioxidants and other minerals and vitamins to improve the system. Also add a little bit of basil just for the aroma, and beneath there is going to be the turmeric to make this a golden rice meal. So let's put some water in here, put it in a rice cooker, and finish the meals up. Okay, so now we actually filled up the Tupperware with the protein and the fats and a little bit of vegetables. So underneath we have 140 grams of cooked white fish, this one codfish. We have 30 grams of pak soy, just for a little bit of leafy greens. And we've got 40 grams of avocado in this meal. The white fish and the pak soy here are the same, but we added 10 grams of peanut butter on this one. Why? Because I respond very well to the nut butter. But at the same time, avocado is healthy because of the extra potassium, putting more fluid in the muscle. But too much avocado will cause some bloating, possibly. So I don't want to overload those compounds. So using both of them will give me most of the benefits. The reason why I even add the fats is to lower the insulin spike effect, to stabilize blood sugars, so you don't actually get tired or get some weird effects from the high blood sugar. So we're going to be adding the rice on top of this, and then I'll show you the end result. Would you look at this, the rice has been added. So it's actually quite a lot of volume. I added 200 grams of rice and it turned out to be pretty much 500 grams. Now in a normal situation this will be ideal. Oh, look at the steam there. But in the situation right now, I would have actually preferred the volume to be down, because the less volume there is, the less water there is in there, the drier it is, the less space it takes up in the stomach. But hey, sometimes you cannot help it. I'm just gonna let the steam escape a little bit. I can literally see by the scales that the grams are decreasing, so that's less water from there, but whatever. Doesn't really matter as much. The rice is done, the golden rice is done. There's a ginger in there, nice aromas in there, no salt in there. However, I will be taking salt with me to, in case I don't get a good pump. There's always something you can do about it. Anyway, I'm just gonna let these meals sit right here and get the tanning improved, because my girlfriend is actually doing my tanning with Pro Tan, of course. So we're doing that at home. I don't like to do it, at the venue itself. I like to be done before getting there, so you can literally go there, relax, and then wait until the guest performance begins. Alright guys, we are on our way to the guest performance at the Ironman Iron Maiden competition. As you can see, in the Vintage Genetics mobile, I'm eating the second meal of the day, just the 100 grams of rice that I showed you earlier, with the half amount of fish that I normally eat. This is actually with the 10 grams of peanut butter added, and a little bit of vegetables to minimize the volume, but only maximize the carbs. And that's a golden rice, as you can see, which is always going to make sure that I do the golden poses. So I'm going to see you at the guest performance. Alright, and then we arrived at the venue itself. Right here you're seeing the backstage. It's simply a gymnasium area right here where you used to go, when you have gym class in school, elementary school, high school. This is kind of the area that you get to train, and this has been transformed to the backstage area and the stage area actually. So it's been like this for years, but here I am backstage just checking the shape with a nice tanning on. Really happy with the tanning. If you take your time with it, it really looks very good. Of course, wearing the Vintage Genetics hoodie, Team Vintage Genetics, and I purchased those push-up bars to be able to do different variations without actually having to touch the floor with your hands, and it's also easier on the wrists, so you're able to go deeper that way and doing different variations like a close grip, and right here I'm doing a wide grip to make sure I hit every single angle of the chest, the triceps, the shoulders, even the biceps, just the entire arms will be warmed up this way. So I really look at this as like a very short workout, because when I'm in the gym I get the best possible pump, so I cannot just do light warm-ups and expect to have a good pump. So you will see in just a few seconds that this kind of warm-up is just enough for me to get a very good pump. Oh yeah. And it's also very nice that there's actually a very big mirror backstage. That is something that is missing in most competitions. This is actually one of the first times ever that I've seen it backstage, like a full body-sized mirrors, several of them. And that is the difference between usually the NPC and other contests. That, of course, especially since the NPC is relatively new in the Netherlands itself. It's been only since last year officially here, so we want to do our best to make it as comfortable as possible for all the athletes. So that's why I also decided to do this guest posing and show a very good shape, to show that I really vouch and stand for the NPC, because this simply is the bodybuilding organization that brought me this far. I've been able to go to America
first doing the Royal London Pro last year in March to become actually a pro bodybuilder, to win my pro card, then go to Chicago, win my first pro show to qualify for the Mr. Olympia, so to going to Las Vegas, and then after that, this year, last March, I did the Arnold Classic. Enormously big names that I could only dream about doing, and now I actually did them, so that's amazing. And that's also the reason why I want to continue to show a very good shape during guest performances, to show my my seriousness in the sport, and I really want to be the best I can possibly be. So trust me guys, every single day I am working on all of my weak points. I know exactly what they are. I know that the legs need to improve, the hamstrings need to improve, the waist can never be small enough, but that's something you are born with, but it's not something you cannot do anything about. Constant training of vacuums, controlling the waist, eating low FODMAP foods, making sure that the waist is always as flat as possible, to make sure that nothing intra-abdominally is pressing against the abdominals, making them bigger. So you want them to be as small as possible, so the rest of the body looks bigger and fuller. That's what creates the V shape, the V taper, the aesthetics, what we want. And we're also using a new kind of shine, not the spray that I used to use, and this one is very much more subtle. It just creates a 3D effect on the body. So every single time that I do a contest, we find out that sometimes the tanning plays a huge role, because you have trained for months, dieted for months to show your physique on one single day, and the tanning can make a huge difference. You can see how smooth the tanning is, and how smooth the actual oil is, to create the 3D effect on the body. And that's all that I really need to create the illusion of being your very best. Because sometimes you have the opposite effect. If you have a bad tanning, which happened to me a couple of times during other shows where I'm too light or it's just a weird color, and the contrast to your muscles isn't showing correctly, it kind of ruins your shape, and it looks like you're not in the shape that you actually are in. So with this tanning, I have to say it looks pretty good for sure. And the lighting here backstage is pretty good as well. Just some overhead lighting, nothing special, just some white lighting from the top. So usually on stage it should look much better as well. And this is actually the DJ right here, to who I gave my USB drive. So for you guys who don't ever do bodybuilding contests, when you do a contest, whether it's a guest posing or just your own posing as an athlete, you always have to give your music in the form of a CD or USB drive to the DJ, or any person that actually receives that, so you can actually let it play on stage. Now, here I am, of course, walking on stage, and unfortunately, the music that is playing right now is probably going to get picked up by YouTube. So, to prevent YouTube from actually shutting down this part by completely making it silent, which has happened to me before, I'm just going to be talking over this or play a different music clip, or both of them at the same time. But this is me guest posing. However, the lighting here was different, wasn't really the same. They changed the lighting here with the guest posing compared to what the lighting was when you have comparison. So you cannot really, as you just saw backstage, the shape looked a lot better than here on stage. But to me that doesn't really matter, because I just wanted to be in a good shape, a good representation, show some good classical poses on stage, and to make sure that I'm just a good representative of the classic physique era in the NPC organization. So just to pick some posing, try to stitch them together. Some of my favorite classic poses, of course, which I love. Also showing some muscularity right here, which if you do have it, you of course have got to show it. And yes, I will stop talking now and just put some music under this right now. So I actually had a posing routine of about 2 minutes, and after that I just went into the stage, into the crowd, because that's what the people love, taking some pictures for the judges, of course. And it's just been a great and awesome time to be able to do this. It's been a great experience just to be, together with all the representatives of the NPC and the judges, international judges, people who have prestige within this organization. And to be able to be part of those guys, to be able to actually have the support of them is just an incredible feeling. We are a team, we are a family together, and bodybuilding can bring a lot of people closer together, and that's just an amazing feeling for sure. I started here in 2013 in the Netherlands and actually did this very show, the Ironman, in 2014, after winning the Flex Cup for the second time, winning the overall. A week later this show was here, and when I did that one, that's when I knew, okay, this is going to be what I do for the rest of my life. So, it's just amazing to see all the response from other people, and just really feel blessed to be able to do this, to live my life as a bodybuilder, make a living with it, and actually helping people in the process. A lot of people watching this video right now probably also watch different videos on this channel and actually get something out of it, so that's truly amazing.
Wow. Wesley, namens de organisatie willen we jou bedanken voor een mooie gastoptreden. En dat ook nog in zo'n mooie shape. Thank you, we love you, we appreciate you. Kom maar, een groot applaus voor Wesley Vissers.
Alrighty guys, it's now the day after the guest performance at the Ironman, Iron Maiden. It was quite a nice day. Actually talked to William Bonek there as well, because on November 23rd here in the Netherlands there will be a pro qualifier, the William Bonek Classic. And people from all over the world compete at that NPC contest. So basically, this Ironman was a qualifier to actually do the William Bonek Classic, and then a William Bonek Classic can get you a pro card, and with the pro cards you can do some pro shows, and if you win a pro show you can go to the Olympia, which is what I've done last year. And I will do that again in 2020, because then I will be at the Olympia again. And it's just amazing to be at a stage once again. It's always fun, it's my passion, it's what I like to do. I showed off some classic poses at the posing routine, as you saw. Just a very nice day overall, very good atmosphere at the show. And I just want to thank everybody who came over, everybody who talked to me, took a picture with me, and supported me, supported the brand. It's just been going amazing. This Vintage Genetics brand that we've been setting up for a few years now is just growing and growing. My name is pretty much synonymous with Vintage Genetics, which is just amazing. Walking around in America, they're like, hey, there's Vintage Genetics, instead of just saying, hey, there's Wesley. So that's pretty amazing that people really, endorse the brand like that and really capture it in their mind, because it does stand for the golden era of bodybuilding, which I strive to bring back. Everybody is born with a certain genetics, but you can sculpt your body to how you want it with your genetics using the tools in the gym. If you have weak leg genetics, well, weaker leg genetics like I do compared to the upper body, you need to use different tools more often to sculpt the physique you want. So the genetics don't tell you what you can and cannot do, they only tell you how you should do them. For some people, legs grow easier, but the arms grow slower, for example. And for me, that's not a problem. So everybody has potential to be their very best. So never give up. I want to thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to stay golden.